Hey everybody, and welcome back to the vlog. Well, today, first of all, I want to start off by wish this video is being filmed on Easter Sunday, 2024, and I'd like to wish everyone a happy Easter. It's the most, it's the biggest holiday in the Catholic faith, and it holds a special meaning to me because I was born on Easter Sunday back in 1954. And it only fell one other time, which was in 1965, and my birthday never landed on Easter Sunday again. But anyway, happy Easter to everyone. Belated happy Easter. Today we're going to be talking about poetic justice, karma, whichever one you want to think of, and Brian Molese, the baby killer, the murderer, piece of shit. So this is the part of the story I didn't tell you. Now, I'm not telling the story in chronological order. The story that we're going to be talking about today is mainly going to be June 9th, 1981, some 2.5 years after that gruesome murder at 24 Sanford Road, Fair Lawn, New Jersey, when a 5-year-old little boy was decapitated with a 14-inch serrated kitchen knife. If you can imagine anybody doing that, that's the prick right there. Okay. So prior, all right, so it was, I think it was Thanksgiving, 1978. 4 months the murders would take place in March of 79. The Fair Lawn police got an anonymous call from a male stating everyone at 24 Sanford Road is going to be slaughtered. That's 4 months before it happened. And I know who that anonymous caller was. Now, the guy never admitted it because he was a career criminal and would later spend the rest of his life in prison. And I'm talking about none other than I'm talking about none other than Joseph Mad Dog Sullivan. He was the only man to ever escape from Attica prison. And speaking of escape in prisons, I want to recommend 3 videos that if you look down, you'll see Kevin's Great Escape. Because I too, we're Irish. We don't hard to keep us locked up, I guess. I too escaped custody while being transported from Rikers Island to Elmira Penitentiary in a small town called Endicott, New York. And in that video, I go into, it's one of my favorite videos for a whole bunch of reasons that I don't want to get into now. But check it out. There were shots fired. I get to read the newspaper clipping. I'm going to tell you a little story about it. I thought that incident took place in Ithaca, New York. Ithaca is 400 miles away from Elmira, New York State. And I had one of my viewers sort of like call me out on that story. And it could never be verified by the publisher that such an event took place, even though I was on the news. I was on the 6 o'clock news, I was on 11 o'clock news, and I was in all the newspapers. So that viewer, her name is Kathy, she lives in the Boston area. She looked it up, and sure enough, she found it. It wasn't Ithaca, it was Endicott. What do I know? I'm from the Bronx. I don't know upstate. So anyway, we got to find out who all the players were, and what an incredible story. It's in 3 parts. Go check it out. Now, let's get back to June 9th, 1981, 2.5 years after the murder took place. But now let's go back a little bit further. Let's go back to where were we talking about? We're talking about Thanksgiving 1978, where this month hired Joseph Mad Dog Sullivan to whack his friend, to whack his wife and his wife's friend. Boom. And he was going to get $50,000 from the ensuing, I don't know if that's the right word, insurance money, because he had those two women and the little boy insured. But he didn't tell Mad Dog, let me see Mad Dog again. He didn't tell Mad Dog that he had to whack a 5-year-old kid. Now, at this time in 1979, this guy killed, so I don't know how many people. They didn't call him Joseph Mad Dog Sullivan because he was an altar boy. Well, actually, I think he was an altar boy. But anyway, you could say what you want about this guy, but I have to salute him. I have to salute the guy because he wasn't a fucking baby killer. So Joseph, this is all the shit that I found out in my investigation while working with the Bergen County Prosecutor's Office on this case. Mad Dog was told to whack these two women, and he got in his car and he drove to 24 Sanford Road, Fair Lawn, New Jersey, to whack these two women, so he gets $50,000. At this time, he was like one of the 10 most wanted men. He was wanted for all kinds of murders, mob murders. I mean, he would later get arrested in October 1982 and spend the rest of his life in jail. And he died in 2017. So Mad Dog pulls up to the house. He's getting ready to get out of the car. And back in the 70s, little kids had these things called big wheels. And it was like a tricycle plastic thing with a big wheel, and the kids would pedal it and shoot off. And Harold had one of those. And it was parked on the lawn. So Mad Dog pulls up, gets out, sees that, and he puts the fucking brakes on the fucking kid in the house. Goes to a payphone, calls Brian up at his Greenwich Village apartment on West 10th Street. And he tells him, hey, you didn't tell me about no kid. Is there a kid in that house? There's a big wheels outside and other toys for a boy. Is there a kid in that house? And he says, oh, that's Marsha's kid. Whack him too. He went, you go, what did you say? And he said, whack the kid too. He ain't gonna give you no trouble. And Mad Dog hangs up the phone. Goes over there and probably slapped the shit out of him, this bitch over here. And told him he don't, now don't forget, Mad Dog's old school, and his code of about ratting out, he wouldn't rat nobody out, but he did in this case, okay? He did in this case. So he goes there, he goes, I don't give a fuck, you piece of shit, what the fuck are you doing? Don't you get my name mixed up in this fucking shit. You better not get my name involved with a baby killer. He found out, then he found out the kid was 6 years old. You better not, you fucking better not. And sure enough, it came out. It came out. Most of it came out from me doing the thing, doing the investigation. So now Mad goes, I don't give a fuck what you do. I still want my money. You owe me $50,000, and you better not get my name mixed up in this shit, you fucking piece of shit. At that time, I believe that Mad Dog had a son around the same age, And even in all his interviews that he's given, he would often be asked about his involvement in that murder and what ensued on June 9th, 1981. Okay, so now you know the background. So now 2.5 years has come and gone. Calendar just kept rolling and rolling. And there was nothing in the news about that murder. Now it's old news. And don't forget, all you people living in 2024, where we got these computers, we can look up anything that we want. We can look at old news. It wasn't like that. If you missed the 6 and 11 o'clock news that night, it was gone forever. There was no internet. And the same thing with the newspapers. Once it was in the paper, once the people read an article in the newspaper, they threw it away. End of story. Gone, gone, gone. Okay. Now, since this is Easter Sunday, I shouldn't be gloating about this story, but I am going to gloat anyway, because I believe in poetic justice. I believe in karma. I believe when you do something like that, not only are you destined to burn in hell for all eternity, that you're going to fucking live a hell life here on earth. And that's exactly what happened to this guy. Now, Mad Dog is on the run with his wife. They pull up to, I think it's 161 West 10th Street in Greenwich Village, which is a railroad flat type of a apartment. Is that the right address?
Yes.
161. And Mad Dog's got to get out of town, or he's going to go to jail for the rest of his life, and he needs money. And now Mad Dog is starting to believe that this fucking guy got the money, and he just ain't giving it to me. Now he's like gonna fucking kill him. Mad Dog Sullivan, for all of you people who don't know who he is, he was one of the roughest. And let me tell you something. I know the Italians, they're supposed to be tough guys and shit like that, but there ain't nobody on the planet tougher than an Irishman, especially when we're pissed off. The big difference between Italians and Irishmen is that the Italians, they have a bad, they're nobody to fuck with either. But it seems like their fuse is a lot longer than us Irishmen. Us Irishmen, when we get mad, the fight's gonna happen right there, right now. I'm cursed with that as well. Where the Italians will think about it and they'll go, oh yeah, is that the story? Sure, you want to stick with that story? Okay, I'll see you next week. And of course, they're gonna sneak whack him. An Irishman, what the fuck did you say? What the fuck? And then it's right there. It happens right there. We don't give a fuck where it is. Be in front of a cop. We don't give a fuck. We just fuck. That's the way we are. That's the way we are. And that's the way Mad Dog Sullivan was too. If you read some of the stories about this guy and the fucking balls he had, I mean, I just take my hat off to him because he didn't kill a kid. And I also take my hat off to him because he snitched. But he never admitted it. But I know it's him. I know who made that phone call. If you look up this story, you'll see that they got an anonymous call on Thanksgiving. So anyway, now he's pissed. He's pissed. He double parks his Cadillac in front of 161 West 10th Street. And he goes upstairs. I think he was on the third floor. Walks upstairs. 1, 2, 3. With his wife behind him in the hallway. And he knocks on the fucking door. And then Ryan's gay lover, I'm going to have my beautiful daughter read the article. It's a fast article. It's from the New York Times, dated June 9th. So this is probably June 8th this happened, 1981. So he knocks on the door. He goes, oh, where's Brian? And he said so. Grabs him by the collar, pulls him in to him. He has a 22 semi-automatic gun with a 10-inch homemade silencer. Now, for all of you that don't know what makes up a silencer, I was very surprised to hear this myself. So it's got threads and it screws on the end of the barrel, and this is a semi-automatic handgun. Screws in, and it's loaded with washers throughout the tube, which is 10 inches long. So he's got this gun. It must have been like that, right? So he gets the guy, and now he's mad. Now he's smoking mad, and that's the last thing you want. When you piss off Mad Dog Sullivan, you got to leave. You just don't fucking stay around in your apartment on 10th Street. You don't. grabs him, pushes the gun in his mouth. Now, the newspaper's going to say shot him in the face. He didn't shoot him in the face. He shot him in the fucking mouth. Put the gun to the roof of his mouth and bang, bang. Now, can you imagine this? Can you imagine being that guy? And can you imagine being Brian Molese in the front room, seeing that thing go in his lover's mouth, and it wasn't his, it was Brian jealous for a second? He got, this poor guy, I feel sorry for this guy. He was the guy, I believe that, anyway, so he's got the freaking tube in his mouth and he lets 3 rounds off. Now, can you imagine having a gun in your mouth and the fucking thing is blowing your teeth out and you're tasting your blood, and then Molese is seeing this unfold before his very eyes. Tell me he didn't shit himself, and there's no way to get out. I mean, these houses, these apartments are railroad flats, what is what we call them. Front room, he's in the front room, he's Molese is trapped. He's in the doorway and he's just gave it to his lover. And he throws him down, he lets go of him, pushes him down, and of course the poor bastard falls down. Blood all over the place. And he goes to Molese, hey, what did I tell you about not getting now, Mad Dog's name was publicized. There was some time where in the investigation where it was publicized that he was an unindicted suspect in this case, unindicted. He was that's how they phrased it. So now he gets Molese. I told you, where's my fucking money? You had to have gotten it. It's been 2.5 years. Don't tell me that, fuck. And Molese must have been, I mean, Molese knows who Mad Dog Sullivan is. Only man to ever escape from Attica prison. And you guys should look this up. And there was a documentary made about how he did it. And boy, does that take balls. This guy was just fucking fearless. I admire him for so many things, but there was some certain murders that he did that just rubbed me the wrong way. To me, he did a lot of mob hits for the Westies, and everybody knew him and everybody feared him, especially the Italians. They fucking feared this guy. He was diabolical. He was vindictive. He was like fucking 100% Irish. Where was I? So Molese knew who he was. Molese had done time with him. And so he gets to Molese. Where's my fucking money? Where's my money? Now, silencers aren't like you see on TV. They're still fucking loud. They're still loud. He just let 3 rounds off. He's double parked downstairs. And he's got his wife waiting in the hallway. Doors open. I mean, can you imagine doing it? And I don't know what Brian said to him, but he grabbed him and said something about being a homosexual or something, and rammed that 10-inch tube right into his face, tilted the gun up, just like he did to that guy, so that the bullets were going up towards his brain. He shot this way. Bang, bang, bang. Left both of them for dead. 22 is a vicious bullet. It's a high velocity. I think they're 45 grains, depending on which one. They come in 22 short, 22 long rifle, and 22 Magnum, which got the stopping power of a 38 P plus round. They're fucking, and they ricochet. When they hit you, they just bounce off. If they hit you in the torso, it's a bone. It's going zig. You're getting shot 9 times 1 round. So he leaves him for dead again as the round exited the 10-inch tube that was in his mouth. the bullets hitting the way it was described to me by law enforcement, as the rounds went through, they hit, I guess the washer wasn't aligned with the barrel. And for every washer in that 10-inch tube, the velocity, like from, I think at 22 was like 1,900 feet per second and something like that, but depending on which one, but they're very light, very fast traveling round. And so as it's hitting each one of those washers in that 10-inch tube, it's losing its velocity and it's breaking up. So by the time the round got out of the barrel, it had fragmented, but still in your mouth. And can you, and again, can you fucking imagine looking at Mad Dog Sullivan, like one of the most vicious murderers of his time, looking at him while the flame, bang, 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 is going off in your face, and you just saw what happened to your lover over there on the floor, bleeding all over the place. Can you imagine that? Poetic justice, poetic justice, poetic justice. So the both of them were sent to St. Vincent's Hospital, where they both recovered, got some new teeth, and they recovered. So my beautiful daughter is going to read the June 9th, 1981 from the New York Times, and just gives you, it's a small little article. Go ahead, baby, read it, come closer to them.
The city, 2 men shot in face in village home.
Greenwich Village.
Yeah, that's the title of the article.
Oh, okay.
2 men were shot and seriously wounded by an unknown assailant last night when they answered a knock on their door of their Greenwich Village apartment, the police said. One man, 38-year-old Brian Molese, was shot in the face after he opened the door to his apartment at 161 West 10th Street, near Sheridan Square, a police spokesman said.
So, he recovered. And then, of course, I got to, I think this is gonna, I should have put that story in the right place, but I didn't. I was old and I forgot. Give me a break. It's Easter Sunday. I think I see the bunny coming now. Is that him? Yeah, the bunny's coming now. I hope you guys enjoyed that story. I think it's the last one. There might be one more, but I think that's the last one in this story that I hate telling. But this is, and again, it's not supposed to be, but it is my favorite story because he got what he deserved. Oh, okay. So let me tell you what happened to him. So then, during the trial in 1983, Brian Molese contracted the virus that causes AIDS. And he looked like a skeleton. He didn't have his George Hamilton looks. He looked like a skeleton. It was attached. He had a colostomy bag attached to him. He had no friends. Everybody in prison must have passed him around. He was just he died all by himself. Everyone hated him when they found out what he did to little Harold. Perfectly innocent. The 2 women, they knew who this mutt was, and I mean, they were victims too, and my heart goes out to them too. But they knew what that mutt was, but little Harold didn't. Burn in hell, my Molese. Burn in hell. I'll see you guys on the next one.